If you've been wondering how to actually recover from health anxiety, today is the day that I make things very clear for you so that we can open up this path of healing and move towards true and lasting health anxiety recovery. Let's go. Today's topic is about how to recover, okay? And I know this is a very fully loaded question. How to recover from health anxiety. And to tell you the truth, I can narrow it down to something very straightforward and simple to explain. However, what I wanted to do today was I wanted to give you 5 very important points to consider when you're recovering from health anxiety. Now, as I give you these points, my friends, here's what's important, okay? Which one of these points, or at what point of this podcast episode, is what I'm saying speaking to you? Because there's going to come a point in this episode where you're going to go, ooh, flashlight moment, more than anxiety moment, aha moment. And when you get that moment, your intuition is actually saying, this is what we truly need to tap into. So I want you to look out for that as we tackle the mental, the emotional, the verbal, the behavioral, and the 5th one, which kind of puts all of it together. Okay, let's dive in to how to recover from health anxiety. Now, talking about the mental side of things, you must become someone who is completely disinterested by the catastrophic ideas around your health through an attitude of disinterest. Now, you are pulling energy away from feeding into the initial fear and moving that energy towards the attitude of surrender and allowance. Even myself, at this stage, 12 years into helping people with all sorts of different anxieties and, of course, their spiritual growth, I am now at the point where I realize how important it is to keep making surrender sessions on YouTube. These meditative surrender sessions don't only calm the nervous system and bring regulation to the nervous system. It not only brings you to a place of inner bliss, but these sort of surrender sessions create clarity. They help you to intuitively understand what's really going on so that you can begin to heal this thing from an intuitive level as much as you are from a mental level. So as we're discussing here how to recover from health anxiety, notice the first couple words here. You must become someone who is completely disinterested, okay, by these catastrophic ideas. And you know what? Here's the interesting thing with those people that will go, well, Dennis, that's really difficult, right? Because that's the first thing the ego wants to do, is it wants to create defensiveness to anything that I'm saying in regards to health anxiety, because you've been living in a familiar, safe place of health anxiety for so long. So your ego, your unconscious mind, your lower self doesn't want you to move from this place, right? We understand that. We consider that, but we don't allow it to run the way we approach our healing now, right? So if you think about it, your ex-boyfriend, your ex-girlfriend, a friend from the past, when you initially distance yourself from that person, there was a lot of pain, there was a lot of confusion, there was a lot of mental fixation. Maybe you tried to get them back, maybe you tried to make amends in some way, you apologize, you did everything you could to try to keep that person in your life, because to you it felt like if you lost this person, then you would lose a piece of yourself. just like health anxiety and the worries that come with it. You feel like if you lose health anxiety and the worries, the comfortable worries that come with it, you're going to lose a piece of yourself. Now that's a more than anxiety moment right there. And that right there should show you what's really taking place here. What's taking place here is an interpretation. Did you survive when you let that person go? Yes. Did you become disinterested by looking to get back together as time went on? Yes. What that means is that as we treat the irrational fear, the ego within us, the same way we've treated distancing ourselves from human beings from the past, as we begin to treat ourselves like a human being, that part of us that is overly protective and scared all the time and chronically anxiety right now, we start to understand that we can do this, right? We can become disinterested by these sorts of ideas and mental and emotional and behavioral patterns. So the first thing when you recover from health anxiety is to understand that you already have this part of you within you because you've practiced it before. You've let go of a lot of things in your life. You've become disinterested by a lot of things in your life. And now that formula is going to apply to the safety, worries, the health anxiety that's going on within you. You see what's going on here? So complete disinterest around any idea that is unconscious is our goal in the mental category. Okay? Now let's move on to the emotional category. Emotionally, you no longer succumb to the feeling of being wired, right? Yes, your feelings may scream out, potential danger, right? However, you are not what you feel, and you can now begin to either release this pent-up energy through movement of the body or movement of the breath consciously. It's up to you. So we focus, when we get this wired feeling, we can say, it's time to release this pent-up energy, right? Or we can practice surrender in the face of this wired feeling through silence, meditation, and rest. Now, what we don't want to do is get stuck in the middle, because when we get stuck in the middle, we're very strict, we're very rigid with our body, we're very rigid with our mind, we don't like to move, we're very afraid, we like to stay in our environmental comfort zones, our identity comfort zones, our emotional comfort zones. We're neither releasing nor are we surrendering. What we're doing when we're in the middle of this is we're watching, we're hoping, right? And we're fixated on the body and the sensations that are taking place. We're going, okay, I'm watching you, body, okay? And oh, that's coming up. Oh, the air hunger's coming up. Oh, am I getting a bit more dizzy? Oh, I have to stop moving. I have to stop talking. If I talk, the only thing my ego is letting me say is anything in regards to victimhood, right? So you can see what the unconscious mind wants to do here. It wants to keep you very rigid in mind and body. It's doing its job because a lot of health anxiety sufferers aren't living their lives. They're living by the demands of the unconscious mind, the ego, right? So emotionally, we no longer want to succumb to that feeling of being wired. When we get that feeling of being wired, or we get the sensations or the symptoms, it's not about being in the middle and being fixated on what's taking place within you, okay? Remember, any directives from the unconscious mind must be reacted with complete disinterest, knowing exactly what this is, okay? And so, as I mentioned, release the pent-up energy. There are many ways to do this. I've just given you two, through movement to the body or movement to the breath, okay? Because as a health anxiety sufferer, rarely are we conscious of our breathing. or practice surrendering in the face of this wired feeling through one of my surrender sessions on YouTube. Okay, silence, meditation, and rest. So you're no longer playing this game. You get emotionally riled up because now in your conscious awareness, you are aware of that wired feeling. And as you do, you start questioning your health. And as you start questioning your health, you start to realize that I'm in danger when in fact you're not. Can you see the game going on here? Now, we talked about the mental. We talked about complete disinterest, okay, becoming someone who is completely disinterested. We talked about the emotional, meaning release the pent-up energy or surrender in the face of it. Let's talk about the verbal, because we're speaking a lot throughout the day, right? And words are commands. So anything that we say verbally is literally a command to our unconscious minds. When it comes to the verbal stuff, when it comes to speaking, speak only of your gratitude for your body and all it's trying to do for you. Sensations and symptoms of anxiety are reaction to threat and a recognition that your stress bucket is full, it's overloaded. And by speaking of gratitude for the protection, we begin sending signals of safety rather than adding to the initial question marks around what symptoms may mean physically. So someone's asking you, and in the Western world, a lot of people ask, well, how are you? And the first thing your ego or unconscious mind wants you to say is, oh, well, go share with them. Share with them what's really going on, right? The world is unsafe. We feel like crap. And we just, we want some kind of support, some kind of love, some kind of recognition of what we're dealing with. So, yes, we can go down that route, and often we do. But what if you spoke only of your gratitude for your body? Hey, Tim, how you doing today? Well, my bodily sensations and symptoms are definitely there. And, the truth is, I want to thank my body for looking to protect me from any potential danger. And I want to thank my body for letting me know how chronically stressed my life has been unconsciously for so many years. And the other person's going, oh, wow, well, that's different. That sounds like you're on a different path. So as you can see, gratitude for your body, when you can get to this place, okay, the fear starts to dissipate. And that's what we want. We don't want to live a life of irrational fear, okay, because that's what health anxiety is. So verbal is very important. You have to stay on top of what you are saying. And people don't realize this. They just think that, anything I'm saying doesn't really connect to how I feel or what I do or how I think in the future. It does. Like I said, you're sending verbal commands to your unconsciousness based on every word that you say. So speak of your gratitude for your body. This body doesn't hate you. It's not trying to destroy you. This mind doesn't hate you. It's not trying to destroy you. The only thing that's happening here is that you, for a number of months or years, your body has been knocking at the door, right? It's been knocking, okay? And you haven't consciously responded. And it started kicking the door down, right? And still you haven't consciously responded. Next thing you know, it's starting to blow the whole house down so that you can get the attention that it needs. Give it the attention that it needs. So these sensations, the symptoms, the voices start to get louder and louder to the point where we go, okay, now I have to do something about this. It's really loud. These sensations, symptoms, these ideas, these things are happening. Now I'm aware of it. So as you can see, it's been trying to get your attention for a very long period of time. And now, finally, at this point, you're doing something about it. So, again, I want to be very clear. Mentally, Okay, we talked about complete disinterest around the ideas. We want to practice this. It's not going to be automatic right away. Emotionally, we want to release or we want to surrender. Verbally, we want to speak of our gratitude for the body. Let's move into behaviorally. I love this one. Live authentically, as if a switch has been turned on, and you've now received permission to be a new character. Now, I'm not saying fake it till you make it, because if you have the attitude of faking it till you make it, you'll always be faking it. Okay? We want to live authentically. We can live a life that is fulfilled, even with the sensations and symptoms and intrusive ideas in the background. Remember that. But like an actor that changes roles constantly, you are no longer in a dramatic film playing an actor that has to protect the world from danger. You're now in a comedy film, and the role that you are playing is one of lightness and ease. Everyone has a lighter side within them. Health anxiety makes it so we must live a very serious life, as this seriousness is a form of overlooking any potentials that could go wrong in the body. However, this is not our true nature, and the way to true healing is living out our true nature in as many scenarios we meet with each day as possible. So the more authentic you live, the stronger the signal of safety becomes. Health anxiety sufferers and anxiety sufferers in general are very serious, and rightfully so. If they feel like their body is going to lose control, there's a certain element of seriousness that takes over. What about mentally? What about emotionally? What about something in the future? What about something they're fixated on the past? We can become very hyper-focused on these fears. So we want to feel like we are no longer an actor or an actress in a dramatic movie. Now we're in a different movie. New day, new opportunity. We're in a different movie. It's a comedy movie, and we're a different actor. You see the difference here? It's almost like turning a switch. And of course, often, you don't go from one place to another overnight. However, this attitude of it's time to transition will allow for you to slowly become more and more comfortable in that new role. Does that make sense? So we want to feel like we're moving from the old movie to the new genre, a different genre. We're moving into a comedy, and we see the world from the perspective of that new actor. Now, this is done behaviorally as you go about the day. Of course, the ego, the unconscious mind, is going to try to pull your attention back and say, well, this symptom is still here. You better go get it checked. You better go on Google. It's going to get stronger, and it gets stronger, of course, because we're focused on it. And not only that, we have created patterns around listening to the unconscious mind, right? We listen to the lower self all the time. We take our directives from the unconscious mind. And I tell this to a lot of people, and this is a bit of a sidebar. Your sensations, your symptoms, your intrusive thoughts, these sorts of things, the elements of anxiety and health anxiety are not telling you what to do. They're asking you, what should we do? So when you get that symptom, it's a question. It's not a statement. The symptom is not a statement saying something is wrong or could go wrong. The intrusive idea as well. We want to redirect these sorts of internal happenings as we go about the day, and that's where your new role comes into play. And this podcast is very, very important for health anxiety sufferers, and I want to kind of narrow it all down, put it together here. Okay, let's put it all together here at the end. Remember, what part of this episode really spoke to you. Write it down in big, bold letters. Intuitively, that is what you need to focus on. If you just take a little part of this episode, that is enough for you to begin your recovery, right? You don't have to take everything and begin implementing it all. Which part of it spoke to you? But let's really focus in on the end here, okay? One more point. You want to become awareness, no longer succumbing to reactiveness. In the end, you are aware of the happenings on the inside or the outside. However, you are not the judger, right? You're not the judger of these things. You are not the labeler of these happenings. This takes you out of your pre-programmed human ways and puts you into the position of being non-reactive, detached from the fear. So what's important here is to understand that you are awareness. You are not your initial reactions. You are not your conditioned identity. You must get back to the place of who you truly are. You are awareness, true connection with all that is within this lifetime. You are not separate from others. You are not separate from anything. You are connected and you are oneness and you are aware. And so this is your true nature, to be aware, to be curious. As a child, curious. What does this mean? Ooh, that's interesting. Ooh, that symptom's interesting. Oh, this intrusive thought is trying to ask me how we should associate this particular experience. Become awareness, no longer reactiveness, because it's so easy to, go back to that place, default to being a reactive person. That happened to me, right? This is happening to me. That may happen to me. That happened to me way back when. And so no more reactiveness, but we are aware. Oh, I see. That image popped up of something that happened to me way back in the day. And as long as we don't give it energy and come from a place of reactiveness, we're going, okay, that's just something that happened. And I get to choose the story that is connected to what happened to me in the past. I get to choose the story of what's about to happen in the future. It's all about stories, my friends. So I really hope that this episode spoke to you. If you're enjoying this podcast and want more episodes in the future, please give it a positive rate and review on your favorite podcast directory. And if you want to learn more about the Health Anxiety Recovery Program, a 12-week deep dive, me taking you by the hand each and every day, giving you a daily task towards true health anxiety healing, head over to theanxietyguide.com today under Health Anxiety. Remember that you are more than anxiety, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
And there you have it, my peaceful warriors, another step towards healing and freedom from anxiety. I hope today's episode gave you the tools and clarity you need to move forward with confidence. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. Every step you take brings you closer to a calmer, more peaceful life. If you're ready to dive deeper into your recovery, head over to theanxietyguide.com and explore our resources designed to help you break free from anxiety for good. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone who might benefit, or leave a review to help us spread the message of hope. Take care of yourself, and remember, true healing begins with understanding and compassion. You've got this, my friend. Until next time, this is Dennis Simsek, signing off from the Anxiety Guy podcast.